Fabian Herzler, he was absolutely scathing about Arsenal's tactics and what he saw as persistent time wasting. Have a listen to this.
I love the effort from my boys. I loved how they play football. I think there was only one team who tried to play football today, and therefore I'm proud how they did it. Did you see in the Premier League game a goalkeeper going down 3 times? We can't control these kind of things. I think therefore the Premier League has to find the rule. If the referee allow everything, then it's difficult. Then they make their own rules. So at the moment I have the feeling they are doing their own rules. I will never be that kind of manager who tries to win in that way. Everyone here in the room, did he really enjoy this football game? I'm sure maybe one raises his arm because he's a big Arsenal fan. But beside that, no chance. Where will this go in the future? That's my question. Where will this go? Like at one point, one game we play 60-minute netto time, and then when you play against Arsenal only 50 minutes, then it's 10 minutes different. So is this for what the supporters are paying for? You get...
Chris Kavanagh was the referee in charge at the Amex. From a refereeing perspective, Dermot, are any laws being breached here? For context, well, David Raya went down 3 times during this game. We've already kind of touched on this, really, but what rules can be changed to prevent this from happening?
I really don't know, Hannah, because I think the goalkeeper's exempt from many things that happen. Like Jay said earlier, if it's a fullback has to go off for a minute, goalkeeper doesn't. So the referee, really, I use the word hamstrung, because what can he do? If Raya says my shoulder's bad, you know, the referee's not a doctor, he's not a physio. Yeah. Is he going to ever be brave enough to say, get up, I'm telling you you're all right? Because God forbid he isn't. There's going to be absolute massive problems.
And like we say, we saw this in the Leeds Sunderland game. We also saw it, well, Daniel Farke was also unhappy earlier on in the season with Donnarumma, the Manchester City goalkeeper. When we look at solutions, yes, it's very hard to legislate against people saying they're injured or not injured, Jay. Are there other solutions beyond that? We've discussed before, haven't we, in terms of like the clock and timekeeping. Yeah. Is it a case that we need to stop the clock?
I mean, that's what I was just... Me and Derms always talk about this, and other people as well. I think it's getting to a point now, you've got to get one of them NBA clocks. And every time it stops, you stop the clock. Every single time it goes out of play, you stop it.
It's like we have in rugby union.
Exactly, yeah, you just do that, because otherwise, like Herzler said there, what is it, when we spoke about this off air, when the ball's in play for 60 minutes? Like, it's a 90-minute game, but the ball's in play for 60 minutes. Like, I mean, you want to see a flowing game of football. And if there's all these stoppages and time wasting, it's like, yeah, it's just not enjoyable. So, yeah, I want to see it. I'd love to see an NBA clock, because then it will stop teams wasting time.
But don't forget, Jay, that won't be the perfect solution, because one of the things about the stoppage is to break up the flow of play, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get secondary information. You see, the first thing that happens, all the outfield players go to the side. So you've got this break-up in play, you know, you've stopped momentum. You've also got secondary information coming on. So I get it about the time, I get that, but it's not a perfect solution.
And then you're in the realm of...
Do you think it's a better solution, though?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I've said that for years.
Just got to walk that line for you in the realm of actual timeouts, which, you know, in American sports we love, but in British sports not so much. It's an interesting one, isn't it? We've got one more for this game. Brighton fans want to know, and you're going to tell us, Dermot, why they weren't awarded a penalty after Gabriel Martinelli pulled down Mats Wiefer. VAR backed Chris Kavanagh with the decision. Talk us through this one. What do you think, Dermot?
For me, this is my opinion, Hannah. If you grab a person like this, and we talk about sustained holding, if you count his steps, he's held him for 10 steps. He starts 5 steps outside the penalty area, 5 steps inside the penalty area. When he comes inside the penalty area, he's never once facing the ball. If holding a player for 10 steps isn't sustained holding, I don't know. And
the ball is going directly where he is running. So if he wasn't being held, he would have been able to get a run and jump on that player and probably attack the ball, maybe even get his head on it. But again, I go back to, I mean, we said it from the beginning when I started here, the terminology that VAR uses, it doesn't explain nothing. If anything, it causes them more problems, because when you talk about sustained holding, you said there, 10 yards. If that's not sustained holding, I don't know what is. Like, when you see it, he's holding him all the way from outside the box. Look at this. And he's stopping him from getting to the ball. The ball is going where he's actually trying to run to. I don't understand what sustained holding is. If it's not, I mean, it must be more than 10 yards. sustained holding. It must be, going by that.
OK, don't go anywhere because we've got lots more talking points coming up, including from Manchester City's game with Nottingham Forest, where they felt they were denied 3 penalties in the break between these two. But let's go to the Etihad now, where Bernardo Silva felt that Manchester City were denied a clear penalty in their draw with Nottingham Forest. Erling Haaland went down under a challenge from Forest keeper Matt Sells, and Silva said that he thought this was a penalty after the game. Let's take another look at it there. What do you think, Dermot?
I was a forward. If I push the ball past the keeper like that and the keeper hits me and doesn't get the ball, I would expect a penalty, because the forwards push the ball away, keeper hasn't got it, he's gone to ground, he's got to get the ball in, he doesn't.
I mean, that's 100% a penalty. I'm not understanding why they haven't given that. Like Dermot said there, he's knocked the ball around the keeper. I think the keeper even knows. When you look at the keeper's face, he's like, kind of thing, he knows. I think Haaland is even thinking, I'm definitely getting a penalty here. He's come out, he's taken me out. I don't understand what they've seen. Look at this one here as well. Like, you can see he's clearly hit Haaland, and he's got up as if to say, like, he hasn't even got up and said, I didn't touch him. He knows.
So why has VAR not intervened if to both of you that's a clear and obvious error? Not been awarded?
Sorry, and just there, when you see that last one, you see him holding his head. Like, if his head hits Haaland, he's still taking him out. So he's hit him, he's touched him. It should be a penalty. Sorry, Dums.
I think their view is probably that Haaland's dragged his foot into him, but I don't see it like that. That's my opinion. I don't see it.
So why didn't he get booked for diving then?
You have to ask the VAR.
Yeah, I mean...
It's almost like this is why we have
I got you there,
this
didn't I?
So Silva clearly frustrated after that. He claimed that all the 50-50s this season have gone against City, and he said that that's the reality. Could he face punishment for those comments? Because he was charged for acting in an improper manner after making some comments last month that kind of question the integrity of a match official.
I mean, yes, he probably will be, but I'm not going to say he's got a point, but that last challenge that I've seen there with Elliot Anderson, I think if that challenge happens in the middle of the pitch, Rodri will get a free kick. So, bearing that in mind, that should have been a penalty.
Let's take another quick look at this one, actually, because this was another of those City claims. This was late in stoppage time, actually. Rodri got his shot off. He was caught by Elliot Anderson.
Yeah.
So, Jay, for you...
Yeah, I look at that and I say to myself, if that happens in the middle of the pitch, that is a foul. So I don't understand why that same threshold isn't applied in the penalty area.
You might want to hang on to that thought.
I will. I think I've been pretty consistent with it, because it happened with Foden, I said it was a penalty.
No.
Happened with Isak, I said it was a penalty. This is a similar thing. If he goes down, if he really hits him with his studs there, you'd be saying it's a red card as well.
Two things. He didn't hit him with his studs, did he?
Did he catch him?
Did he hit him with his studs?
No, he didn't. Did he catch him?
And I actually think it's a foul by the City player, because I think he catches him.
How can it be a foul by the City player when Rodri's having a shot?
Well, he boots him, doesn't he?
Yeah, but Rodri's having a shot. It's his follow-through. What's he meant to do with his foot? Like, kick his foot and bring his foot back?
Right, you see there. Who fouls who?
Elliot Anderson fouls Rodri.
That's why I'm a referee and you're not.
What do you mean? That's why I'm a player and you're not. If I'm kicking the ball through, you said you use a forward. If you're kicking the ball, how can you stop? How can you stop yourself going forward? It's a motion.
What do the rules say on this? Because it does kind of look like it's the nature of play, right? They're both coming together here.
Exactly.
So what does the rule say here? That it's...
For me, it's not a foul.
Is that given as a foul in today's day and age terms?
Yeah.
Is that given a foul in the middle of a pitch if a player does that?
I don't think it's a foul.
Is that going to be given in today's game in the middle of the pitch?
How many times are you going to ask me? I don't think it's a foul.
I don't know how that's not a foul. Like, again, I'm going to repeat myself. Sorry, I have to. If Rodri is kicking through, you can't expect him to shoot the ball and bring his leg back without feeling contact.
And you can't,
that is a motion.
And you can't expect Anderson to do the same.
No, but he's blocking the ball. He's not trying to kick the ball.
Blocking the ball.
Yeah, he's trying to block the ball and he hasn't. And he's gone through. He's hit him. Okay, was Isak's... Is that a penalty?
No, hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
Okay. We'll move on, because there was another call for a penalty as well. This was Erling Haaland once again. He was held for a long time by Jair Cunha, but not enough in this to be given, Dermot?
I think they're both holding. If you look, Haaland grabs him as well, but not a foul from it there. Haaland's got him there.
Yeah.
Throws himself away.
Yeah, I agree with this one. I think the thing that I look at in this one as well is when you look at Cunha, he's actually got his eyes on the ball. So they're both holding each other. They're both trying to get away. They're both trying to get that little advantage. But Cunha the whole time is looking at the ball, which is why I say you can't give penalties for that.
And just one more from this game as well. Sales felt that he was fouled in the build-up to Rodri scoring his header from a corner. He thinks he was fouled by Haaland there. Anything in this one for either of you guys?
It's a 50-50 that went in City's favour for Bernardo Silva, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a foul.
I mean,
Forest do.
I look at that and I say, Haaland's standing there, he's putting him off to begin with, but once the ball's coming in, it sells. There's actually initiated contact with Haaland. He's pushed him away.
And with his own player.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's why he hasn't been able to come to the ball, because he's thought about... Haaland's done his job, actually. He just put him off. So I don't think that's a foul.
There was loads in that one, wasn't there? And a lot in terms of the title race as well after Manchester City get the single point from that. Let's turn our attention to Fulham against West Ham. And there was plenty to deal with for referee Matt Donoghue at Craven Cottage. West Ham fans were furious that they were denied a penalty for a handball on Alex Iwobi. Did the officials get this one wrong, Dermot?
I think they've got it right, because if you see it, Matt Donoghue can't see that. It's impossible for him to see that. The VAR looks, and I think it hits him high up on the arm. Iwobi actually shows him, and I think he shows him exactly where he hits him.
It's to do with the sleeve, right?
Yeah, but it does hit him very, very high on the arm. I think the players know the rules now, and if you look at Iwobi, he's quite confident. You know, he leans into that ball because he knows he can do that. I think he knows he's safe.
Yeah, I agree with that again. It's way too hard. Obviously, handball, the rules are below the sleeve is handball, above the sleeve is fine. And you can clearly see it's hit him above the sleeve. So it's
he's confident, isn't he?
Yeah, he's confident. I mean, even then, like he's kind of done that towards the ball, but he knows it's going to hit that kind of area. So that's why... I mean, it's definitely not handball.
Fulham boss Marco Silva wasn't happy with a couple of key decisions made by Donoghue and the VAR, John Brooks. First, a penalty that was given, then overturned after review. Dermot, for you, was there enough here to overturn this decision when you look at it again, rather than in the heat of the moment in real-time play?
I think it's 100% not a foul. I think Kearney catches the opponent, catches him in the back of the leg. You know, he goes to shoot, there's no doubt about that. He doesn't see his opponent coming. He just catches him. It's not a foul for me.
Jay, you seem to disagree.
You think it's a penalty?
Yeah, I think that's a penalty. All day long. All day. He's going to strike the ball. The player's put his leg there. He knows what he's doing. He's put his leg there. He hasn't touched the ball. He's not in control of the ball. He's stopped the player from shooting now. So that is a penalty. All day. Derms, I'm sorry.
No, you're
I'm sorry.
consistent.
Like when you go to strike the ball, if that player touches the ball and then he hits his leg, then you say that's not a penalty. But when he doesn't touch the ball at all and he stopped a player from striking the ball, that's a penalty, in my opinion.
Yeah, but John Brooks thinks that's the rule then, surely.
I have to give you, you're 100% consistent, because I was absolutely convinced you would agree with me there, but you haven't. You've shocked me. But you're 100% consistent.
And do you know what, in this game, don't we just want consistency a lot of the time? That's what we're mostly asking for, isn't it? Fulham also thought Mateus Fernandes should have been shown a second yellow card just before half-time. Let's take a look at this one. And what do you make of that one? I feel like I know.
I can't wait to hear this one, Dems.
Well,
do you disagree, then?
100%, because I think it's a carbon copy incident. I think that
he hasn't touched the ball, though, Dems. He hasn't touched the ball. He stopped the player from scoring. This one was actually a foul. This one was a yellow card. So what's the difference between this one and the last one? Again, consistency from the official. Why wasn't West Ham given the free kick?
You think that's a foul for West Ham?
No, I'm saying why wasn't they?
No, I asked you, who do you think commits the foul?
No, I'm asking you that.
Who do you think commits the foul then?
I'm saying, OK, King's going through. I'm saying,
who commits the foul?
I think the West Ham player commits the foul. Who do you think commits the foul?
Wilson.
I think you're winding me up today, Derms.
So why?
Honestly, I do.
So why isn't the yellow card given?
He hasn't touched the ball again, right? King's trying to shoot. He hasn't touched the ball at all. The ball is still rolling.
He does not touch it there?
No, I think he hasn't touched the ball there.
I think he gets a foot to it.
I think that's a foul. When you stop a player from shooting, to me, that is a foul or a penalty. Definitely free kick.
OK, we've got to take a quick break. We are not even close to St James's Park because Newcastle got the 2-1 win over Manchester United, but Newcastle head coach Eddie Howe thought it was a poor decision by the referee Peter Banks to send Jacob Ramsey off for diving after he was shown a second yellow. Dermot, I'll come to you first. What did you make of this decision?
I'd back the referee, and I'd back the referee because of this angle. If you look at this, does he have to do that? Is he caught? No. Does he go down looking for a penalty? Well, he goes down so far after the so-called incident's happened, I don't think he needs to. So I don't think there's any need to do that. And I would also suggest that if he hadn't have got a yellow card for that, people would be screaming and saying, look, we don't want diving, we don't want this, trying to deceive the referee. So Peter Banks, I think, has taken positive action, so back him. Don't put him in position, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Jay, what did you make of it? Because on Soccer Special last night, the panel were fairly incensed and didn't think it was a yellow card situation or a second yellow.
I mean, if you're diving, that's the rules, right? Is it
a dive, though?
Yeah, I do think, yeah. When you see Jacob Ramsey, he goes through there and he kind of starts clutching at his leg like he's been kicked, and he hasn't been touched. So that's the reason why I look at that and I say he's looking for a penalty. It is a dive. I mean, it's not as dramatic as we've seen in the past, but there's definitely, look, when you look here, look, he goes down grabbing his ankle. So he's looking for a penalty, which would then negate it to be a dive.
Wow, you guys are in agreement for once. A miracle. Right, a lot of Manchester United fans have got in touch about this next incident because they want to know why Peter Banks didn't show Joe Linton a second yellow card after he sarcastically clapped the referee after being booked for a foul on Mateus Cunha. Is it simple that he didn't see it?
I think it's very interesting. He gets really lucky, Joe Linton, and he gets a yellow card. If you look at Peter Banks, he yellow cards him to his face and turns back to go back to the scene of the crime, if you like. He doesn't see this, it's behind his back. The VAR can't get involved because it's a second yellow card.
Tonali's like, stop that.
And you know what, they're like, I mean, I give credit where credit's due. Joe Linton, he hasn't clapped like that where the linesman can't see. The referee definitely can't see. He's put his hands up in the air like that and he's clapping. Why isn't his officials, even the fourth official, why hasn't he seen that? Why hasn't he communicated? Why hasn't the linesman said something? Everyone on the pitch can see that he's clapped and he's clapping sarcastically at the referee's decision. He should have got a second yellow there and got sent off. Simple as that. We see that earlier. I mean, it's different because the referee could see Paquetá when he was doing it, but there's a team of officials there. They work together in unison. I don't understand why no other official has seen that.
Okay, well, Newcastle were awarded a penalty after Anthony Gordon was brought down by Bruno Fernandes. Any issues with this one, or is it a clear-cut penalty any day of the week?
Just a tackle he didn't have to make. If you watch it, it comes across. He doesn't have to make this because his colleagues there to back him up, but there, takes him across there.
Yeah.
Just unnecessary, but a penalty.
Again.
There. Good spot by the referee.
Great play as well by Gordon. He knows Bruno Fernandes is there. He knows he's quicker than them. He's gone to go down the line and he's put it back inside and then cut across. You know, as players, you know, as terms, like as soon as you get one-on-one with a player, if you can get your body across that defender, you're making him make a decision. And in that scenario, he got himself in a bad position, Bruno Fernandes did. But it's definitely a penalty and great play from Anthony Gordon.
Okay, let's go to Villa Park now. And this was an absolutely bizarre incident for the referee, Jared Gillett, to deal with. Aston Villa not happy at all that he allowed Chelsea to delay kickoff for the second half because they were huddled around the ball in the centre circle looking to have a bit of a team chat. They also did this pre-match on Sunday in the Arsenal game, but that was before the game actually kicked off. So what are the rules around this? Could Chelsea be punished? Is it time wasting? Is it anything by the book of the law?
Well, it's quite bizarre, Hannah, because the rule is whistle to whistle 15 minutes. There's a slight buffer for the delay for whatever reason, but this was delayed over 2 minutes because of this. And you just go, why? Where has this suddenly come from? Where has this tactic come from? And that was at the kickoff on Sunday.
Yeah.
This one was the second half. It was Aston Villa's kick-off. You could see how frustrated they are. They want to kick off, they want to get the game underway. So I just don't know why it happens.
I remember being in a situation before when I was at Cardiff when we actually come out for kick-off late and we stopped obviously the time of kickoff. I don't know if it was 7:45 kickoff, we might have kicked off at like 7:50 because a few players were late coming out onto the pitch. The club got fined for that. Would that be a similar scenario here? Because they've stopped kickoff being.
It'll be reported that they've delayed the kickoff, and whatever happens will happen, but it won't go unnoticed. It won't go unchecked.
Yeah.
What is the deterrent and sanctions for delaying kickoff, either before the game even starts?
Cardiff got fined, Vicky.
Yeah.
Cardiff got fined. We got fined for that, and then the manager said to us, "Listen, you better get out because the club can't get fined." You can't really fine every single player, but I mean, I don't understand that, to be honest.
There is a very, very tight check on how long it takes between whistle to whistle, and without doubt, Chelsea will be the team that will be at fault. They'll be the team when the Premier League says, "Why was this delayed for so long?" The match manager will say, "Well, because Chelsea wouldn't allow Aston Villa to kick off."
Well, it's interesting as well, isn't it, with this wider debate about time wasting, because that's essentially what it is. Even if the time of ball in play action, it is still wasting the overall time.
Well, it's time delaying, isn't it? It's not wasting time because there's no time being wasted. But it is irritating, isn't it? Because Aston Villa are ready to go. They're all geared up to go, and suddenly, through no fault of their own, they can't even get near the ball.
Yeah, interesting, Ron. We've got a couple more incidences from this game. Ollie Watkins had a goal disallowed just before half-time. A good VAR intervention here?
And I would suggest as well, without VAR, goal would have been given because it's so tight. The assistant would never be able to decide is he on or off, so he would just keep his flag down.
How long did that take?
It's pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
I think all the VARs over the last 2 days were very, very slow.
Yeah, I look at that and I say, I mean, it looks tight, but I mean, that's the first time I've seen this, by the way. But looking at that, as it happened, that looked offside to me. That's just with my naked eye, without a pause. But I'm glad that was a very quick decision, because them kind of decisions there, you can see. Some of them are millimetres. They're the ones that are really, really difficult, especially when there's other players there. But that one, I think that was clear to see.
Before that, Chelsea wanted a penalty when Reece James was brought down by Ian Maatson. Did they have a case when you take a closer look at this? Nothing was given.
I actually think Reece James puts his foot into Maatson. Also, I would say, if you look, his ankle slips. If you look here, his ankle slips, and then he goes into Maatson. So I think it's a case of him going into Maatson himself. And in fairness, he gets straight up. He just looks as much to go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's a penalty.
You always do, Joe.
I think that's a penalty, because where he's touched the ball is back that way. So when you look at where he's run, his initial reaction would be to put his feet down, plant it, and then push off with his left foot. And that's what he's done, and he's been impeded. So I would look at that and I would say that is a penalty.
OK, right, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of it, we're going to discuss all. Well, let's get started with the big controversy at Ellen Road on Tuesday night. Leeds manager Daniel Farke was fuming with VAR after they were denied a penalty when Luke O'Nien grappled Pascal Struijk to the floor. Farke said all day long it's a penalty, and that the referee Stuart Atwell would have given it if he was given the chance to have been sent to the monitor by Paul Tierney. Dermot, why wasn't this one given?
I agree with Daniel Farke, actually. I think if the referee's given the chance to look at this again, I think he will give a penalty. It's you can't grab a player like that. You've got to go for the ball. You've got to look at the ball. He just hangs on to him for too long for me there. He's not looking at the ball. His sole intention is to stop Struijk.
We've seen so much and discussed so much, haven't we, about grappling. It's a really big debate in football at the moment. What's the solution then for more consistency when it comes to this?
Deterrent, I think. I think if you give them, it stops, because if you're punished week in, week out and giving penalty away, you're going to stop doing it. I think that's the only deterrent. To not give it is no deterrent whatsoever.
I think I agree with you. I think, like the way SPL say any time the ball hits your hand is a penalty. I think you need to say that for this. Any time any player is grappling in the box and not looking at the ball, we're going to give a penalty. I think that's the only way you can cut it out properly, so you know exactly what's expected of you. But this is definitely a penalty. I mean, his arms around his neck. My thing is more like the referee's right there. He's maybe 10 yards away. The linesman's facing the play. So I don't understand why they haven't seen this. We've seen some really, really good decisions from linesmen and officials where they're looking for at something from 70 yards away. This one is like 10 yards away. I don't understand why no one has seen this, and the ball is going in that direction. So there's no excuse where the ball's going somewhere else and he's looking at the ball. It's right there. So I think that's a really poor decision.
Well, you mentioned
I don't agree with that, actually.
Huh?
I think it's a tough decision. If you play that again, there's 3 lots of grappling, and that's why I think you've got to be careful. If you watch, it's not only 09, there's one behind, it's on Calvert-Lewin. There, look, there's 3 lots of engaging there. So I think...
No, I hear you.
But look, they're all at it, Jay. So you've got to prioritise. You've got to look. Here, we watch here. There's so much to look at. Remember on Sunday, Chelsea-Arsenal, we point at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. But then, then obviously, there's more onus on VAR to have a look at this then. But the one, there's still 2 officials there, right? That, I mean, you said there's 3 scenarios. There's still 2 officials. When you're looking in your eye line, you can see, especially the linesman. The linesman can see from afar. So, like, that's something I still think he should be seeing, but definitely VAR can get involved and help the officials.
Well, that's just it, isn't it? With all the VAR debate about when it does and doesn't get involved, is that one of those situations where actually, even if there are multiple instances, we want more from VAR in that particular instance?
Yeah, but the VAR's there to correct something that's clear and obvious error, and I think there's so much grappling. I refer back to the Chelsea-Arsenal one. We spotted... When the Declan Rice one was going on, there was 5... there was 5 incidents. And I think it's all right saying penalise, but penalise the ones that has impact. The first one was Declan Rice, that had impact. The ones behind don't, because the ball's not going to go there. I think it's a big, big problem at the moment.
Do you think it's unrealistic to say, like, you know, at the beginning of a corner, when they're actually putting the ball down, players can't start in the 6-yard box? Because then it would stop the grappling. Because I think when you're in that smaller area and there's like 15 players in there, you're going to be really tight to each other. There is going to be grappling because you're trying to hold, you're trying to shield people, you're trying to block people, right? And I feel like if you say something like that, then it would stop the issue of grappling really early. It would stop the issue with the goalkeepers blocked and, you know, all these kind of things that we talk about now.
So Leeds denied a penalty. Atwood did award one to Sunderland, though, for a handball by Ethan Ampadu after being sent to the monitor by the VAR, Paul Tierney. Dermot, what was your opinion on this one?
I think a really good spot by Paul Tierney as a VAR, because without doubt it comes off Ampadu's thigh, it bounces up here. That can't be handball, but then what he does, you don't see it there, you see it on another angle. Yeah. Whether he panics or whether he thinks, you know, that ball's not coming, this is the one, comes up off his thigh, and then he definitely elbows the ball away, handles the ball away.
Yeah, I mean, I was at this game and I was sitting there, and to be honest, I see it in like actual as it was happening, because yes, it's come and hit him and it's rolled up his arm, which that is obviously not a penalty, but then when he moves his arm toward the ball is where you say it is definitely a penalty. But that's an unfortunate situation again. He hasn't tried to do that on purpose. He's reacted and his arm's gone towards the ball. It's just one of them unfortunate situations, but it's definitely a penalty.
You can see Daniel Farke's frustration with it, though, can't you? Like you say, it's not necessarily deliberate or on purpose, but he has made himself bigger.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think people need to understand that when you're on a football pitch, a lot of these movements, when you say, you know, his arm's in an unnatural position, it's not like players are not thinking, oh, let me put my hand here. It's just happened where you're reacting, it's frantic in the box, you're panicking, you want to get blocks, you want to make challenges. That's just what's happened there. The defender's so close to him, it's just more of a reaction. It's unfortunate, but it is a penalty.
Throw-ins are also a big debate this season, aren't they? And how about this one? Luke O'Nien was delayed taking his after the Leeds substitute Sean Longstaff moved a towel. I mean, you're laughing, Jamie.
No, because I was there as well. I found this really funny because, I mean, even that, Luke Longstaff has picked up the towel and, like, taken it away from him so he can't take the throw-in. And even then, I'm looking at this thinking, he'll probably get a yellow card here. But he didn't get a yellow card because he's actually slowed down play. So I was a bit confused about that one. Is it because the ball's not technically in play that he didn't get a yellow card?
I think the referee just warned him. I was like, I thought it was really... When I see it happening, I'm like, what is he doing? And the way... He was so blatant about it. Walked away, you're not having it back.
And he was smiling as well. It's kind of like, oh, this is a joke, I'm going to wind him up.
But it was, you're not having it back, that's the end of it.
It's kind of that like side of it as well. That's the sort of like the niggling that we kind of like to see, don't we? It's all very entertaining. 09, there was not so fortunate later on. He was actually booked for what was a fairly bizarre incident here. I mean, look at this. He kicks an additional ball that rolled onto the pitch towards the one in play. So, Dermot, just for clarity, what rule was broken here? And have you seen this before? Because I often wondered, did he think that was the ball in play?
I think he was well aware of which ball was in play. It was like, if I boot this over, it might stop that attack, break it up. But, you know, there's no offence, 2 balls on the pitch, unless it impacts on the game, which it definitely did the minute he booted it towards him.
See, I look at that, right, and I'm saying, what do you do then? Do you just leave the ball?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, I think he done the right thing.
Off?
It did go off. It did go off.
Your priority is to attack the ball that's in play, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying that the ball has gone off still. It's gone off away from, like, what was he, maybe 10 yards? Yeah, he's maybe 10 yards further forward. Look, let's see now, look. I'm looking at this and I'm saying that's probably what he should have done. Look, he's just kicked the ball away. Look, he's the attacking team as well. So he's not helping he's not, helping his team. If he was defending and he did that, then maybe so. But they're attacking, they've got the ball, and I think he's just kicked it out of play because it's a promising attack. I mean, the only other thing I could think of is if he turns around, like controls the ball and plays it back the other way. But he's not going to do that, so he's just running onto the ball thinking, I need to get this out of play because it's a promising attack. I think he's done the right thing.
Is it a no-win situation for a player here? Because either you're turning your back towards the field of play and then
So
goodness knows what happens.
Poor old Stuart Atwell into the pantomime villain.
No, I just think he's done the right thing. I would have done the same thing.
This is a great debate.
You probably would have booked me.
I rest my case.
So it's the difference of opinion between a player and a referee, I think, is exactly what it comes down to here. Daniel Farke was also fairly unhappy, wasn't he, about the Sunderland goalkeeper wasting time after going down injured in the 20th minute. It's not the first time that Farke was unhappy with what he actually called tactical timeouts. As you can see, all the Sunderland players gathered around Regis Lebris as well and had a bit of a team talk on the sideline. I mean, Dermot, what can referees do in this scenario? Because we're seeing this quite a lot.
I've just been talking to Will Perry about this and said it's happened in 3 matches over the last 2 days. I think what's got to happen is maybe in the summer they sit down and say, look, this is what we're going to do. Referees are being empowered to do this. So give the referees some power to deal with it. Go to the clubs first of all and say this is what they're going to do. And when the referees do it, back them.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, there's new rules coming in with IFAB that they're going to try in the World Cup. But again, they're talking about if a player goes down to waste time, bring them off for 1 minute. I think it's a non-starter to me, that rule, because if the goalkeepers are exempt from that rule, they're the ones that do it the most. So for me, it's a silly rule. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see things like that. I don't think anyone wants to see things like this, because if you go down and you're really injured, I understand that. But if you're going down, and you can see him as well, he's got his hand over his mouth, he's talking to the physio's talking back to him. If he was really talking about an injury, he wouldn't be covering his mouth. You know, the physio's obviously been given instructions to tell the goalkeeper. So, I mean, I hate seeing that kind of decision.
But it's a hard one, isn't it? Because you can't judge as a referee when someone's injured genuinely or not. So, I mean, how hard is that to judge from an officiating point of view?
And that's where the referee, if you'll excuse the pun, is hamstrung, isn't he? Because if he makes a mistake, he says, Jay, get up, you're all right, and you have got an injury, big problem.
Well, let's stay with this subject and we'll bring you some of an extreme